Okay. First of all, I'm Lila, and I first of all just want to thank you for showing up today, for carving out this time for yourself and really for your potential, because that's what this is about. Tapping into the potential, how good you can really feel. So let's start by grounding. So find a comfortable seat. Feel your sits bones and your tailbone dropping down into whatever you're sitting in, and close your eyes. Draw a deep breath in through the nose, fill the lungs all the way. And open the mouth, exhale. That's it. Another deep breath in, feel the breath like coming from the bottom of the spine all the way up. Expand. And open the mouth, let it go. This time, feel the breath coming from the center all the way up and down the spine at the same time. Fill until you can't feel anymore. Then open the mouth, exhale. Keep the eyes closed, breathe in and out through the nose. And as you turn your awareness to the breath, notice what you're bringing in with you into this space. And I'd like for you to really give yourself this space. So if you need to close the door to the room you're in, or create some boundaries, some container for yourself, go ahead and do that. And when you think about giving yourself this space, like creating a container for yourself, carving out time for yourself, what comes up? Is it something you do all the time? Is it something you could do more of? And start to tune into how you're feeling. And that can mean a lot of things, right? So tune into what you're feeling physically in the body, on the body. Feel the sensations. That could be temperature, that could be texture, that, and then also tune into how you're feeling emotionally, energetically. Just right here, right now. Right here, at this time. And don't make it right or wrong. Don't try and push it away. Oh, that's what I'm feeling. Oh, just allow it to be there and allow yourself to be aware of it. And as you're ready, I'd love to hear some of those things that came up about how you're feeling. So if you just want to type in the chat when they come up, do that while I give you a little, very brief intro to the cleanse program. Because I assume, yes, I'm assuming that you have read the website, or most of it anyway. There's a lot of information on there, but what this is what we're embarking on in 1 week is a 30-day holistic cleanse. And when I say holistic, what I mean by that is we're approaching well-being from many different angles. So it's not just about our physical health. It's not just about feeling like our bodies feeling better, which it is, but it's about we're approaching well-being from the mental, emotional, and spiritual and physical aspects. So we're going to develop practices over the weeks that we're in this together to address all of that. So we feel whole, holistic, and we feel whole. We feel complete, not wherever you have been. So we kind of bring all the parts of us together. Good. Yeah. So feeling tired and happy to be here. Yeah. So tired. So tired is probably physical aspect, and then happy, that's the emotional aspect. So see how we can, and bloated, another physical one, yes. And how we can contain both, and how we can feel physical things and emotional things that seem different, like seem contradictory, but we can have space for all of this. Excited to pay attention, to focus, tired, yes, anxiety, and excited and ready to let go. Yeah. So all of this, like we can hold space for all of the ways we're feeling. Okay. So what happens often is we feel something comes up that we don't want to feel, and we suppress it, or we're like, I'm busy right now, I can't deal with this. And so this is actually one of the, what I call it, a principle of the cleanse. It's a really foundational part of the cleanse, is actually tuning into how we feel. Because if there's something that we want to change and we don't even know what's going on with us right now, then it's going to be harder for us to actually change it if we're not allowing ourselves to feel it. So yeah, I invite you to share in there more about how you're feeling. But the other thing we're doing, main thing that we're doing, is we're changing we're making lifestyle changes. So you can think of them as habits or behaviors. A lot of this is going to focus on what we eat and what we don't eat. So if you read the website, you know that we are going to eliminate sugar, alcohol, caffeinated coffee, gluten, dairy, and processed foods, chemicals, additives, things you may not even have realized you were consuming. And the thing about eliminating something is it's kind of hard to just say no to something. Have you ever noticed that? Like, have you ever said, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore? Like, you notice something you want to change, you're like, oh, I'm sick of myself when I do that. I'm not going to do that anymore. But if you don't have something, if you just stop there, then what happens? Like, can you actually think of something maybe recently where you're like, oh, you caught yourself doing it again, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. And then if you just stop there, then what happens? Probably not much. It's without declaring, well, what do you want? So when you know what you don't want, though, this is the brilliant thing. You know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And so you have to get to the place of what you do want, acknowledge that thing, and then you're just, so you take the thing that you want to replace, and then you actually add something in. So you want to eliminate one thing, and then you want to replace it. So when we say we're eliminating all these foods or ingredients, then what are we replacing them with? So we're one thing, and there are a couple people in here who've done this before, is we're replacing with socially unacceptable amounts of vegetables. Yes. We are going to be eating a lot of vegetables. And we're going to actually, the way we're eating is very balanced with protein, fats, low carb vegetables, and starchy carb vegetables, and fruits. And so what we're focusing on is real food. So when we replace the packaged, processed, chemical, additive laden food products, we can't just eliminate, take them all out of our house and then, have nothing to eat. So we have to bring in the real foods that come from the earth, whether it's animal or plant. Oh yeah, and I did want to say, if you have questions, like as they come up, put them in the chat. I'm going to answer them later. And Tanya, maybe you can clarify what you mean by giving up everything. I would say no, but you can clarify it and we can get more specific.
Do I have to give up caffeine?
Caffeine. So not caffeine, it's specifically caffeinated coffee.
Do I have to give that up?
Yes. But let me tell you, so Wow, so that is typically a big concern for people before embarking on this journey, and I totally get it. Like it, yeah, it like how does it make you feel? I'll ask you, like, how does it make you feel when you think about giving it up, Tanya?
Um, Scared and uh, like I'm not gonna make it. If I
Yeah,
have to
so
give up
scared, yeah,
caffeine.
maybe a little anxious.
Yeah, very anxious. Yeah.
Yeah, that comes with the territory of giving up coffee. I know it well. I've done it many times, and so have some people here. Like Sarah's saying, so she gave up coffee on the cleanse, and then she replaced it with Irish black tea. Okay, so it's you can replace it with a lighter caffeine. Like it's not caffeine that we're eliminating. It's actually more about the coffee. So you can replace it with Swiss water processed decaf coffee. So you want to have very clean. So it's water processed. It's not chemical processed, or organic tea, black or green, and you so that's the part you have to like shift from, well, I'm not just getting rid of it, I'm not giving up something, I'm actually bringing something else in, bringing in a new habit, a new um, ritual. For some people, the thing about coffee is that ritual. It's getting up, it's making the coffee, it's the smell. And there's a couple of coffee replacements that I really recommend, and I put them, at least one of them, in the program materials. So I recommend, they taste like coffee, they smell like coffee, and so if it's about like the ritual of having the coffee and holding the warm thing, then you bring something else in. So we
What's
don't want
wrong with coffee?
to, what's
What's
wrong
wrong
with
with
coffee?
coffee?
All right, let's save that for later. Here, put that in the chat so we can come back to it if
Okay.
there's time. But I yeah, just want you to know that right now is really kind of like the pre-cleanse phase. So as soon as you sign up, you'll get the pre-cleanse documents that kind of like guide you into leaning into this whole process. However, if you don't get there before we start class 1 next Saturday, it's not like you have to eliminate everything right away. And some things, especially ones that you're anxious around, like coffee, is I actually recommend you weaning off of them. Okay, so you can start now or you can start on class 1, but you give yourself a lean in period. So you don't have to eliminate, and I don't even recommend, especially if there are things that you think you're like physically dependent on, like coffee or sugar. Um, you actually want to start tapering those off. So I lay that out in the pre-cleanse guide, like how to start reducing your coffee intake, because you might be concerned about the symptoms, the detox withdrawal symptoms that you'll experience from eliminating that. And so you really do want to take it easy, because we're not trying to, yes, there is discomfort. There's always discomfort when you're going to the next level. You've got to get out of your comfort zone, and so you're naturally going into a less comfortable place, but we don't want pain. We want to make this as smooth and easy as possible so that you can ease in and actually have a good experience. I'm not saying that you're not going to have detox symptoms, but we have a process where you take it little by little. And then as we go, like class 1 is going to be a lot of information. I'm going to lay out, but I'm going to record it so you can go back and watch it if you need to. You're going to take notes. And then we also have the Telegram community. So in between classes, we have the Telegram community where I call it the Sangha. It's in yoga. It's like our family. It's our Sangha. It's our group of people who are like on a mission together. And you have not just my support in there, but you have I call them cleanse veterans, because they have done this before, and they naturally they naturally will help you out. Like so I always say, like, if you're at the grocery store and you're looking at products and you're looking at ingredients and you're like, is this an okay protein powder? I don't know, because you're going to learn to read labels. I will tell you that. You will become an ingredient detective. So if you're looking at something, you're like, I'm not sure if this is cleanse worthy or not, well, then you can send a picture of the ingredient label into the chat and be like, is this okay? And either and if I'm not there, to respond right away, I bet you someone will respond and support you. So that is one of the really beautiful things about this container, is that, and not only for just the 30 days, but beyond that, people, the Sangha forms and then it just grows. And so you have people who've done this over and over a few times. So this will be the 5th time that I'm teaching this as a group cleanse. And I'm teaching it in the spring and fall. And just to actually, let's take a moment of me not talking and have everyone introduce themselves. I'd like you to share. So these are your potential cleanse mates, and I'd like you to share your name and what's motivating you to be here right now. So what I mean by that is, like, what are the current conditions that you want to change, that you're not happy with, that you're hoping to cleanse or to change. So just have everyone share your name and why you're here.
I'll go first. I'm Tanya.
Tanya.
I am, is it Lila or?
Yeah.
Lila's sister's neighbor, and she's the thing that's pushing me mostly. But the thing that I am looking forward to giving up mostly is sugar. I have been off alcohol for about 3 weeks now. So sugar is the replacement for alcohol for me. So I'd like to give that up.
Okay, awesome. That's such good awareness you have, Tanya. Thank you for sharing that.
I'll jump in. Hey everyone, I'm Mariko. I'm a cleanse veteran, so I do this pretty much twice a year. And it's definitely a bigger ritual that just has to happen. I mean, in this time specifically, I'm feeling really tired. I'm actually haven't been home in over a month, so there's a lot of things that I've been eating and all sorts of stuff, behaviors that have just been not in the norm for me. So I'm feeling really lethargic and um, uh, definitely ready to feel more energized all over in general. So yeah, it's always great. I always feel like amazing when I'm doing the cleanse and eating real foods and so uh, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, it's just resetting my body. I've been around a lot of forest fires and stuff too, or big wildfires here. So feeling polluted in general. So
Mm,
yeah.
yeah. So cleansing out a lot.
Hmm.
Resetting a lot. Thanks, Mar.
I can go next. Thanks for having me. Hi everyone. I'm here.
What's your name?
Sorry. My name's Birute, and it's great to meet you. And I've known Lila for 12 years now. I've counted Lila. And I'm just so excited. Marco, I've known you forever too. So I am here to support Lila, and she so graciously extended invitation to the cleanse. And at first I didn't know what I was going to cleanse. And when I get really honest with myself, there's plenty of things I want to cleanse. And primarily it's my addiction to technology and not going to sleep as early as I can be. I know that part of the cleanse is to turn off technology by 8 o'clock and go to sleep at 10 p.m., which will be a challenge for me. So I'd love to challenge myself. I know that I just want to get better sleep. I need to get better sleep for sure. And I also would love to eliminate coffee. And it is a ritual, it's a habit. I don't know if it's useful for long term, and I'd love to see how I feel without it. And I think sleep will be it will make it easy. Maybe I just should replace coffee with more sleep. That's
Oh, thank you, Bahute. You have done your homework. She already knows the schedule for bedtime. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Technology. Yeah. That's a big addiction for most of
It's
us.
it's really huge and I really hate it. I'm really resentful. I don't want to feel resentful of technology because technology is a great thing. But
Yes.
the way I'm relating with it, it's
Mhm.
I'm like an addict. So
Right. So, and this is so good because what we're going to do, like we have all these intentions of what we want to cleanse, what we want to release, what we want to change. And then we have 30 days together to practice. So see this as a practice. That's actually what sadhana means. It means, it's a yogic term. It means a daily spiritual practice. So we're going to have a lot of practices. All right, Sarah, what are
Hi,
you
everybody.
cleansing?
My name's Sarah. I'm also a veteran like Mar, and I've done this, I can't even remember how many times, but have been doing cleanses before Lila started this, and then was so grateful when Lila started this because of the way that she holds space. It kind of makes this a journey where we can reflect on things together and uh, like go through withdrawals symptoms together, which will happen, but will be much easier to work through when we have each other to kind of like process with. I just quit my job like 3 weeks ago and I started a business. And one of the things that I really appreciate about this cleanse is the reflection on what's happening in the body and what you're letting go of, which is why I mentioned that in the chat too. Because when we start to burn through these layers, like we're like eating healthier, we're letting go of pollutants. Those pollutants are also attachments to the past. And since I just quit my job, there's plenty of things that I know I want to let go of from that experience and that my body might still be holding on to that I just don't even know my body's still holding on to. So I'm excited and happy to be here again.
Oh, Sarah, I love that. It's like you are cleansing the past.
Yes.
Like, and I love that you're open to not even knowing what that is, but
Yeah,
it'll come up. It'll come up. You'll be, oh,
it
that's what
will.
it
And everybody will get to hear about it.
is. Yeah,
Thank you
that's what
so
I'm
much in
releasing.
advance.
Okay, bye. Yes, exactly. Okay, so beautiful. And thank you all for sharing. Um, I love how everyone has such different intentions, right? And we're gonna bring them all together and cleanse so much, cleanse so much. But these things are why it is essential. Like as you know, as Sarah said, like life, you know, there are different phases of life. Like what Mar was saying is like she's in a um, different place than she usually is, exposed to maybe you know, not so healthy habits right now, and just exposed to more toxins in general. And so this is why I honestly find it's crucial that we cleanse. It's essential that we cleanse because partly just the state of our world, just the state of the environment. There's pesticides, there's herbicides, glyphosate, not just in our food supply, but even in the grass, in the ground we walk on. There's hidden sugar besides the sugar that we know about. There's random chemical ingredients. And when we're eating at home, it's much easier to control all of that. But you know, that's not like we're eating at home all the time. When we eat out at restaurants, we don't necessarily even know what's in that food. I will say this though, chances are there are addictive things in that food because that's designed to make you keep coming back to that either processed food or that restaurant food. So it's actually designed to be addictive and to be not exactly satiating. So if you ever eat a lot and you feel like physically really stuffed, but you just want to keep eating, it's because your brain is being hijacked by what you have eaten that you may not even know what it is. So just saying that because there are things that we're not even aware of until we are. So there's off gassing in buildings that we go in all kinds of materials, in our cars, in plastic and metal that are getting into our bodies. There's even pollution just from driving in traffic. that we're exposed to. And the body stores, so this is happening, and this is basically out of our control, okay? But just realistically, we can acknowledge that we are living in a pretty polluted environment through many avenues. And what our body does, though, it's so brilliant. It's just such a beautiful design that it has a way of, when toxins come into our body, so toxins, anything that's potentially harmful, chemicals, poisonous, not supportive of us, when they come in, then our body will actually store it in fat. And it does that to keep our organs safe and to keep it out of our bloodstream and our lymph system. So it stores it in fat to protect us. And, I just always just really appreciate like the body's intelligent design to do that. However, if we don't burn that fat and we just accumulate more fat, then those toxins stay in our body. So what we do, like why I say, if you've read, I say like reduce inflammation and toxic fat. I mean literally toxic fat, like toxins that are in your fat. When we burn fat to release the toxins. Fat can come out through our skin, through our breath, through our elimination. So we just create an environment to release the stuff that we maybe didn't even know we were hanging on to. But because we're constantly exposed to all kinds of stuff, toxins, then that's why we have to cleanse. That's why it's important to cleanse. And once you do it, then you feel what it's like to feel clear of that. Then you go back into it and you're like, oh, well, now it's not like, and from the yogic perspective, it's not like you cleanse, and then you're cleansed forevermore. Just like you wash the outside of your body, you shower, and then it's not like, all right, I'm done, I showered, like I'm good for the rest of my life. No, then you probably shower the next day or so, because you get dirty again. And it's the same thing inside of our bodies. We cleanse it out, we eliminate, we clear it out, and then we're exposed to stuff, and then we eat stuff, and then we get it in ourselves again. So we have to cleanse it out again. So this is in terms of yoga, it's the practice of shaucha, and that means cleanliness, and it's a practice, which means that you do it over and over again. So it's a practice, just like a sadhana. It's something you do daily in a sadhana, but shaucha is a practice of cleansing that you do over and over. And there are many, many, many ways, like in yoga, that you could do you could cleanse yourself. This one, what we're doing here in the cleanse sadhana, is like a lot of things all together. So we have the physical aspect of it, the food aspect of it, but then we also have the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of this. So like just eating the right foods, but not clean, like cleansing the mind. It might work to some extent, but it's not going to be give you the whole picture or the holistic view of it. In Ayurveda, why I designed this, so I bring a lot of Ayurveda and yoga practices and principles into this program to really support the holistic sense of the spiritual part, the emotional part. And in Ayurveda looks at everything, it looks at everything with what qualities it has, and even seasons. So seasons have these qualities, and we have seasons within us. And in Ayurveda, the best times to cleanse are spring and fall, which is why I offer this every spring and fall. It really started with my own practice, and just being able to share this practice and guide people into that practice, that ritual, as y'all have said, like it's become a ritual. It's something to do, like people do it either annually or every spring and fall. And it's a way to acknowledge, okay, yes, like I'm going to take stuff on. I'm going to take on, toxic environmental toxins, energetic toxins, even just our thoughts, and I'm going to take that on, and then I'm going to rinse it out. And then I'm going to clean it out. Okay. And then I'm good for a little while. And so like, but it happens, like we fall back into habits, that we did clean out. So it's okay. It's okay. Like, this is why we have opportunities and we can cleanse again and again. And maybe Sarah, would you like to share like why you do, like, because Sarah, like she said, countless cleanses, but why do you do this multiple times or again and again?
I do it because I mean, life is full of change, and I feel like at each of these big moments in my life, which happen pretty frequently, I want to be able to start new and start fresh. I also know that I can hyperfixate on things, and it's a good way to break that habit. And sometimes I can hyperfixate on the wrong things that aren't healthy for me, but for some reason I'm craving. And this gives me an opportunity to train myself and relearn or re-examine the kinds of healthy and beautiful foods that I can hyperfixate on instead, that are good for me. Uh, there's a shake period or like a more liquid period. I actually really look forward to those periods because I feel like I spend so much of my time during the day thinking about food and what I'm going to eat next and how I'm going to prepare it and what I'm going to prepare for the week. And this helps me break out of those kind of like negative thoughts around food into happy thoughts around food when we get into cleanse cycles. So, and those are a few of the reasons why. I'm sure there's like 100 other reasons that I just can't remember right now. But honestly, it's a way for me to reset and recenter myself.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you really talked about like refocusing, like remembering like what really matters. Because you just kind of clear out. Love everything Sarah says. You clear out that stuff, that's, what, because when the mind is hijacked, like the mind can be hijacked by sugar, for example, because what's actually asking for the sugar is not your body's innate intelligence. It's likely an imbalance of bacteria or yeast that's in the gut, and that's what's like that feeds on sugar. So it hijacks the brain to say, give me sugar, give me sugar. And you as the human is just like in the body is just like, okay, sugar, but my body needs sugar, so I just eat sugar, and it becomes a habit. It becomes addictive. Sugar is addictive. But it's not actually you that needs the sugar. It's the bacteria that needs the sugar to thrive, and that leads to even just more imbalance in the gut. So just clearing out sugar alone, like you have done this, like in y'all's experience, is that like, what kind of difference does that make in the mind?
I mean, there's the mind part, which is just less crashes, and then more focus. Like I like to be really creative. I'm kind of in a creative drought right now, except for the like new business. But other than that, I'm not like painting, I'm not drawing, I'm not playing with clay, which are all things that I really like to do to center myself. And I think that my body and being like addicted to sugars is and addicted to technology. Like, Dorothy, I really feel what you're saying about that. Like, it's keeping me distracted. It's keeping my body distracted. It's keeping my brain distracted. And I don't want to be distracted right now. I want to be focused. I want to be alert. But like, just like in the simplest way, lack of crashes. Like, I feel like I crash really hard when I'm on sugar and caffeine,
Right.
and I don't want to right now.
Right. There's that physical, so there's that
Yeah.
real physical, like noticeable effect, and then there's also the
Yeah.
mental or even emotional, energetic quality. Fruit eliminated for the sugar. So fruit. So there's some low glycemic index. No, low glycemic load fruits are okay. Like, so green apples, berries. But we eat smaller amounts of those. So those are in the starchy carb category, Tanya. And then there is an exception for high sugar fruit, which we'll get into. But I won't let you know yet. But little motivation for that though. Yeah, blueberries. Yeah, pretty much all berries. And I just want to see what else you want to ask. Okay. Okay, so let's do a little, Mar, do you want to add anything? No? Okay.
No, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, y'all ready for a little writing process? Okay, so I want to look at, like, speaking of habits and changing habits. Remember, a habit is, in order to change a habit, we can't just eliminate the old habit and expect it to change. So we reduce the old habit and we bring in a new habit. So I want y'all to think about, and this may be very much related to what you said about why you're here, but to discern what needs to be cleansed in your life, what habits or behaviors are you practicing? Because practice is just anything that you repeat and then you get really good at it. And sometimes we get good at things that we don't want to be good at. And this could be thoughts, this could be behaviors, which could be eating habits, but see if you can go beyond that, and just list, like, as they come up, just write down what are the things that are, think of them as like depleting you or draining you, that you are ready to release or cleanse. Okay, if y'all got at least like 3, I feel like y'all all have like 10, right? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Come up with, so look at your list and which one is really like speaking to you right now, like this has got to change. So look at that, you know it. Yeah. All right, so let's hear. So look at that list, be like, okay, this is the one, so what you're gonna do actually is, for this next week, you're gonna work on this. And so it might be that you work on this one the whole week, but maybe you find like you want to start adding on, but let's just focus on one. So I want you to pick the one that is strongest of wanting to be changed, if you're wanting to change it, and then and you'll share it, and then and you might have some that are similar. So, and I'm gonna give you, or kind of work through with you, the new habit that you're gonna replace it with. So we have the thing that's depleting you, and then there's gonna be the thing that is fulfilling you, nourishing you. You wanna replace that old habit with something that is nourishing, that's fulfilling. So whoever wants to start, share your depleting habit you're going to practice releasing.
Well, I already shared mine, so I'll go. Sugar.
Okay, so this this is do you have one that's more of like a behavior?
I do. Time spent on the phone. Yeah.
Time spent on the phone. Okay, I'm just saying this because sugar, like, we are like, if you go into the 30-day cleanse, like, we are going to do that. And you can start now. I'll say one thing about sugar. So if you want to start, and if you're, which I'm getting from you, like, you might want to start by reducing it and weaning off of it, rather than just being like, I'm not eating sugar anymore ever again, right? Like, how's that gonna go? Okay, so first of all, you want to start, yeah, we can do sugar. So looking at all the sugar that you're consuming, like all the sources, and where can you start to just straight up reduce some of them? Like, if it's just straight up like sweets that you're going into the fridge or pantry, like mindlessly eating, then see if you can actually just, in those moments, I'll give you a few options. Is this true for you? Like, it's kind of,
for me, it's in the office. It's when
okay.
there are sweets in the office, like I eat with my eyes. I see that and it's like, I
Ooh.
gotta have it.
Okay. Okay. So they're in your visual field. Okay. So first, first, first of all, Tanya, you're going to clear the visual field. This would be, I mean, this could make a big difference for you. You're gonna, wherever you can see, you're gonna remove those sweets.
I
Like,
don't have that option at work.
can you put a plant in front of them?
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're on someone else's desk. Okay, I get it. You can't ask, you could ask them to scoot them over, but maybe
I've asked them to stop bringing them.
put a plant, put a book, put something. So you
Okay.
actually, when you actually look up and look out, you don't see those.
Okay.
Now, next, if you do see them and your mind gets hijacked into wanting them. Okay, so this is where you start to actually replace that habit. So the old habit is just reaching for it, putting it in your mouth, right? So instead, what you're going to work on, and I don't expect you to be perfect the first few times. You might end up grabbing it, you might give in, but you're going to create a new habit. And this can be getting up and going for a walk, and if you can go outside, best, because then you'll also be getting nature's vitamins, sunshine, on your skin and your eyes. But even if it's just you have to walk like a loop around the office. And so you just start training your mind every time it sees the sweets and it's like, I want that. And you train it from just reaching for it and putting it in your mouth to actually, that becomes your cue. You see the sweets to get up and take a walk, for example. Or, okay, do you like the sound of that?
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing I would say is you get up. I think creating, like, moving physically, like getting yourself up and removing yourself from the space would be really good for you. And so either take a walk or you could go get a glass of water. Something else, but something. So you're training that trigger. The trigger is the you see the sweets, and the habit is you put it in your mouth. So now you see the sweets, new habit, go for a walk, go get a water. I think just getting up and removing yourself from the space is going to be maybe more helpful than just trying to do it in your mind of like, don't eat the sweets.
Yeah, and eating half of it doesn't work either because I always go back for the other half.
No. Okay, yeah. So that's what you'll do this week. Every time you see them, I mean, first you'll just see if you can block them out, okay? But then it's going to come up because it's been a habit. You've been practicing that. The mind is trained to want the sweets, right? And so just replace it. Walk, water, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What else? Someone else?
I got one.
Okay.
For me, the big habit to break is to create more breaks between work to reset.
Okay, so what's the old habit? What are you wanting to change?
Well, I'm not creating breaks.
So you're just
essentially I'm getting depleted because I'm on technology for too long.
okay,
so I need to
on the
create the
computer
breaks
screen.
and then what to do to actually reset in a short time period.
Okay. So you're spending, it's like hours, you're like on meetings.
Yeah.
And is it something to do, like, what do you see as the like the limitations? Is it that your meetings are just like you have meetings scheduled back to back? One, I would say, is it possible to schedule your meetings, like to schedule in, bathroom breaks between your meetings? That would be my first.
Yeah, I can. It's just, lately, I think because of my schedule with everything else personally, it's harder to do that. But the one thing that I think I need to do is whatever 10-minute break I do have, or even 15,
Okay.
what is the best, so maybe what I'm thinking is obviously going walking and sitting on the grass and grounding, or I have to do something to switch
and
the environment.
Yeah, and you know me, and that's obviously like the first thing I would recommend. So even if you have like a 4-hour block where you like, hopefully you can get up and go to the loo, but as soon as you can, you go outside and don't take your phone, okay? Like, do not take your phone with you. You leave it there and you retrain the mind that it is now just sitting. And you also, what happens you get eye strain if you're just staring at a screen that's, this close to you. So leave your phone, go outside and actually look out into the distance. So look out, look at the trees, look at the buildings far away, look at the sky, get sun in your eyes too. Sun on your skin, like roll up your sleeves and get the sunlight on your skin. So you're actually absorbing nature's vitamins. And what we mean by grounding, guys, is when you actually sit on the earth, then you're absorbing the electrons from this like electron blanket on earth, and this reduces inflammation. Inflammation is the root of disease, and so you're actually rebalancing your body. So as much time as you can, like get out, like actually on the, not on asphalt, but on any natural ground material. It can be concrete. Concrete has, it's like rocks crushed up, and but preferably like grass, something you can actually sit on. Just spend a few minutes there. So is that something you can do, Mar? Is like take a break without your phone? Like you're not going to take a break and go like scroll on social media or text someone because that's more fun. It's removing the screens,
Yeah.
getting the sun in your eyes. And when I say sun in your eyes, if it's afternoon, you don't want to look at the sun when when it hurts, but you can look at it through some leaves, like through some leaves on a tree. You can kind of squint, or you can kind of like just get it into the side of your eyes. But that it's sun medicine. It communicates with your immune system and all these organs in your body. So, all right, good work on
Perfect.
that.
Thank you.
Who's next?
I'll go next. So for me, it's scrolling mindlessly on YouTube Shorts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know why I do it too. I'm avoiding emotion. I'm avoiding feeling or just sitting with myself.
Mm.
And I'm thinking of replacing it with either journaling. So it's usually at night when I'm more prone to scroll before going to sleep. I don't have, I wish I had, no technology hour, and I think the cleanse supports that. But it feels like I should either read something or learn something, or I should be moving like yin practice or meditation. I'd
Okay.
love that. In my fantasy life, that's what I'm living.
Okay, yeah, Brute, this is good. I love how you're already thinking of like what would be better for me.
Yeah.
Probably one of the things that might be a problem for you is you have a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, I could read, I could just turn the phone off, I could write, I could do yoga, and so then
Yeah.
that might stop you from doing it, and you're like, no, I don't even know, I'll just scroll. It's like too much to consider. So let's just pick one thing this week that you want to replace it with. And if you want to focus on the evening scrolling, then so I'll give you, we'll kind of elucidate the options, and then you're going to pick one. So you could either say like, I think setting a bedtime would be good, and then saying, okay, I'm going to turn off my phone, like off and away at, if your bedtime is 10, then do an hour before, so 9, and just have that. You can actually, what I love about the iPhone, I don't know if the other phones have it, but you can set the sleep
Yes.
settings, so it actually like blacks out your phone at a certain time, and it gives this really pleasant little charm. It's like dee, dee, dee. And it's like, oh, time to wind down. So that's really helpful, and you just have to be committed to that. Just be like, put the phone down. But now, yeah, something you want to replace it with. I think your idea of journaling is a good thing, because you have the awareness that you're avoiding feeling something. So if you just write down, I'm avoiding feeling bored, or I'm avoiding feeling whatever that is, and just let it come out. And it's not like you have to spend an hour writing. You could just write, for a moment. Just acknowledge that you were tempted to scroll mindlessly, and instead you're writing about it, and you can write just that. So you're just retraining that habit. Like the mind is like, I'm bored, and it's like, that's the trigger, and then it's like, I want to scroll. And that's the action. And so you're replacing, when you feel that feeling that you don't want to feel, you're going to have to tune into your feelings. Then you create the new habit. Okay, write it down. You know, rather than avoid it, write down, acknowledge it. And then if something else comes up, like, oh, I feel like moving my body, doing a yin practice, whatever, then you can flow with that. But I think just the noticing, I think one, setting up your phone so it goes kind of like winds down at a certain time would be good for you. And then that, just write it down and just start to notice that habit. And that one's a little more subtle than, say, like the candy ball on the desk. Like that, it's there, you see it, and you're like, oh. But the other one is like, oh, you have to really start to tune into your feelings, tune into how you're feeling. So, you know, like I said, you may not get it right every time, but it's a practice. So you just start practicing retraining. Does the writing sound good to you?
Sounds great. Yeah, it is what I need. Such a crazy, I don't know if need is the right word, but it's what's more beneficial to me is to process really what I'm going through, because what I feel like is I feel like I want to be more creative in my life, and partly how I do get creative is writing, but because my emotions aren't, I'm avoiding something, instead of being creative or creating something like a blog article or just something that's more authentic to me, I end up avoiding with technology. But I would like to use technology as a tool to share.
Yeah. So first of all, like, just don't even get into all the things you want to do and all the ideas. Like, we need to focus. Like, it's not about replacing it with everything in the world you want to do.
Yeah.
You're just going to replace it with noticing, observing, and writing it down. Okay? Keep it simple, guys. Otherwise, you're not going to feel like you can accomplish it. Sarah, what are you
Thank you.
changing?
My behavior that I want to grow out of is obsessing. And I've been obsessing a lot about, like, I posted my new website and I made an announcement on LinkedIn. Now I'm like, oh, where's all the likes or engagements, and how many people have visited the website and where are they visiting from? And it's very technology focused, but I have a habit of replacing one obsession with another. And how that's looked like with the cleanse before is like, oh, I'm going to weigh in every single day, which is not advised. It's not advised, but I do it anyway, even though it's not advised. Or I'll get obsessive about other things. So I think that just that behavior in general is something that I really want to focus on this time.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind, because I totally feel you on this, I can fixate and obsess and get very much in my mind. Something like, how does it sound if when you notice that you're obsessing about something, you actually reach out to someone and talk it out?
As an introvert, it sounds stressful, but that's probably something that's like just making me avoid it. But it sounds like a challenge and not in a bad way necessarily.
Yeah. Well, I will say all of these, the old habit rubbing up against the new habit, there's a friction. And so for all of your examples, there's friction. And it may not sound stressful to all of you, but it probably sounds hard or challenging or uncomfortable to, and it's in yoga, it's called tapas. It's the old habit rubbing up against the new habit. It creates heat, it creates friction, it creates discomfort. And so, I mean, that makes me want to say, please try this. Another thing you could do is, I was going to say meditate, but meditate, you can get into your head. Go for a walk.
That's a good one too.
Okay, because, and when you go for a walk, so if you don't want to reach out, go for a walk and look, like, take your focus to nature, like to the trees, to the sky, and start to observe. Just, you have to occupy your mind completely with something else. And so give it something to look at. Give it something to notice. Just notice that, and notice everything about it that you can. So you give it something else to fixate on, right? But something that's neutral.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
That sounds lovely, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. And even if you can't go for a walk, you can go sit outside or look out the window.
Water plants.
Water plants. Yes. I'm sure they'd appreciate that too.
They would, it's hot.
Okay, so you all have something that you're going to work on every day for the week. And if you're in the cleanse, if you're already signed up, then you have access to the Telegram. And I'd love to hear like reports from you guys. Like if you're like, okay, well, this is going better than I thought, or this is not going well, whatever, just share in the Sangha. That would be really great to hear. Okay, so I will, let me just say before we open for questions, because it is 12:01, I want to offer you all here today $50 off if you sign up in the next 24 hours for the cleanse. So write this code down. It's cleanse ready. Just, I can write in the chat, cleanse ready. And so when you go to sign up, you can simply put it in the coupon right here. Redeem coupon, cleanse ready, apply it, and you'll see the price discounted there. So I do want to just open the space if you have any questions. If you don't and you're ready to go, like, you can. And if as you marinate on this, if questions arise, like, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me, hala@ltaff.com. If financing is an issue, then I do have, like, as you can see here on the website, there's Afterpay, so you pay in 4 installments, and there's also noted here, there is financial support. So you just reach out to me and we can talk about what options you have for that. Are there any more questions that I can answer for you now?
There is one in the chat about what's so bad about coffee.
What's so bad about coffee? Okay,
Yeah,
Tanya. Okay, so
I feel like it's
coffee.
important though, because I would also push against it.
Okay, bye guys. Yeah, so one thing about coffee is it's not necessarily the caffeine in coffee, but it's the toxins, the mold, the bacteria that's in coffee, the chemicals that it's processed with that completely hijacks our body, our mind. And so we're just eliminating it for 30 days. If you want, when you sign up, you'll get the cleanse guide. Sarah's done this. You like the Dandy, right, Sarah? Do you like the Dandy? Did you use that?
I love the Dandy.
Okay, so
Because I
Dandy.
used to have a morning coffee and an afternoon coffee, and the afternoon coffee would keep me up, which is not good. And so the Dandy was my replacement to my afternoon coffee.
Yeah, and there's a new one that I just discovered this
Oh.
spring called, so Dandy's, I recommend Dandy. It's Dandelion, and it has chicory, it tastes like coffee. And then one that I discovered this year is Ticino. Have you tried that one yet, Sarah?
No, please. I mean, I'm
Okay.
going to,
I'll
obviously.
put it in the Sangha, but it's Ticino. Like it tastes like coffee.
I've
And
turned into
so-
such a beverage girly on the cleanse. I'll have my like 5
Oh yeah. Hydration is a big key component to the cleanse. So any way we can get hydration, like all the drinks and all the like nourishing and like nutrient rich drinks we can.
So, maybe I need to look into this a little bit further, but I have, I'm battling some, elevated liver enzymes, that they really don't know what's causing it. And, one of the things that I've read is that coffee is good for your liver. And there's no, they haven't done any studies on tea, but, so I don't know about tea, but I know coffee's good.
Well, okay, just a note on studies. I would always look at who is funding the studies.
I always look at Cleveland Clinic.
Okay. Yeah, you just look at, because oftentimes the ones making money on the product
Right.
will be funding them.
I get that,
Yeah.
but yeah. But I worry, so anyway, that's why I don't want to give up.
So do you feel like you're drinking coffee specifically to support your liver? That's why you're drinking coffee?
I've always drunk coffee, so no, but I think I probably have increased my coffee.
Bye, Brute. Okay. Yeah. So I would recommend you eliminate it and see what it's like, see what changes. And also like just going through and I think Sarah, you've done this where you like taper off. So you go down from like your regular amount of coffee. Like how many cups is that a day?
Oh, it's only about 3.
Okay, so 3 cups of coffee today. So like, and maybe you want to start this week to just kind of like really wean off and lean in, give yourself a lot of time is go down to 2 cups tomorrow.
I would have no trouble doing it with black tea. I would have no
Okay.
trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would recommend spending this week in addition to the sugar habit is taking it down to 2 cups tomorrow, taking it down to 1 cup the next day, 1 cup the next day, half cup the next day, then moving into like a black tea, make sure it's organic. And so you're decreasing it, and then you don't have to eliminate black tea, just make sure it's organic. So doesn't have chemicals, pesticides in it.
Right.
Yeah, and then so you just kind of taper off and see how you feel, because this is all an experiment. So we're eliminating these things. Not all of the things on the list are necessary inflammatory to everybody, but we eliminate them all so we get kind of a clean slate, a baseline, and then in the end we actually to come out of the cleanse, you can start to bring things back in that you want to try and see and just really notice how they affect you.
I bet we don't bring cookies back in.
You can bring whatever you want after this.
Yeah, I ate a brownie this week. Not going to be eating brownie this week, but I ate a brownie last week.
Yep.
Well, I ate the whole cookie yesterday and it was big.
So how does that sound about the coffee and phasing it out? Does that sound doable?
For me, yeah.
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 Like, and I want you to notice, like, if you start to feel a detox symptom, which for me is generally a headache, but it can be just fatigue, it can be nauseous, it can be different things for you. But if you're relating it to like lack of coffee, then go ahead and have a little bit more, especially pre-cleanse. So that you don't want to like just ruin the whole day by eliminating it like all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?